And welcome to Let's Talk About It. I am your host, Laura Paul. And remember, you can listen to tonight's program on Praise 96.3. You can go to praise963.com. You can also listen and watch on Facebook Live and YouTube at Talk with Laura Paul at Outlook.com. Talk with Laura Paul at Outlook.com. You can go to that on YouTube. You can just put Talk with Laura Paul. You'll find me on everything. Now, what we're going to do is tonight and tomorrow, we are going to put the live feed from tonight's radio program on YouTube and on the on my website, and that way on Facebook you can hear all the music that we're going to play and everything that is musical and comes through the control board. You'll be able to hear, and it'll be posted for about a month. So there's all of that information. I want to thank my super supporter of this program. That's David's Abbey Carpet and Floors, with locations in Knoxville, Pigeon Forge, and now in Maryville too. More on David's later in the show. This particular Monday night, I am so excited. I really am. I guess you can tell my voice. I'm a little nervous, too, because I'm with icons in the music industry, the Southern gospel music industry. I want to start by helping those of you listening and watching to understand a bit of a timeline between my special guests. We're going to do a brief dive into history along with the introductions that I'm about to make. So if you're watching on Facebook and on YouTube, yes, they're just sitting there, but their turn is coming. And so let's all hop into my Southern gospel. You ready? Get on board, put your belts on, get ready to ride. It's the Southern Gospel History Time Machine, and we're going to travel backward multiple decades, and we're going to the year 1971. It's a time when people gathered in our area on Friday and Saturday nights to sing about salvation, heaven, and the goodness of God. And it was then that my first guest became the lead singer and MC for a brand new group. Please welcome to Let's Talk About It with Laura Paul, one of the original Kingdom Heirs, the original MC and lead singer, Gene McKinney. Welcome to the show, Gene.
Thank you, Laura. It's good to be here, and we're looking forward to getting to know you more and sharing our story of our ministry with the gospel music.
Awesome. And we are thrilled to have you, and we're going to hear a lot more about Gene's writing tonight, and we're going to listen to, well, some old tunes and some new tunes, because they are with a new band, but that's part of the story, so I'm not going to tell all just yet. We're in our time machine, and I'm going to move into 1972, and that's when my second guest replaced the original bass guitarist, so that was within the first year that you replace the bass guitarist. And give my next friend a microphone there, and welcome to Let's Talk About It with Laura. This is Steve Googe. Say hello, Steve.
Hello, Steve.
Say hello on that microphone to all these people. That was his wife interrupting. We'll get to her next. Tell those people hello and wave. They're watching you. There you go. And yeah, right. He said they can't hear you. Let's see if we got that microphone on. Yeah. Let's see. Let me check your button, and let's turn it on. Yeah, there you go. Now say hello, Steve.
Hello, Steve.
There we go. And his wife is singing high tenor with the group that is current, and we're going to ask Steve to pass the microphone, or put a microphone back over there. We were one mic short, not on mics available, but a connection here, so we're passing the microphones around rapidly, kind of like a hot potato. Did you ever play hot potato when you were a kid?
Old radio mic in the middle.
Yeah. And old radio mic in the middle. And so, of course, that's Robin Googe there in the white jacket. Glad to have you.
Hi, everyone. Glad to be here.
And then around the same time that the Kingdom Heirs encountered another group from Middle Tennessee with the same name, they changed their name to the New Kingdom Heirs. and they released their first long play album called That Day Is Almost Here. Well, actually, almost tonight would mean moving to February of 1974, and that's when my third guest joined at the age of 19 as the bass singer. And that, of course, is Dwayne Wyrick. And I just got word a few minutes before the program that Dwayne was not going to be able to make it because he had back surgery. Yeah. So we're sending prayers out for Dwayne Wyrick and hope that he's able to listen and know that he is missed. But in his stead is a newcomer that joined in the singing with Heartland, which we'll be talking about here shortly. Please welcome the newbie from 2018, Terry Burkhalter. Terry, welcome to Let's Talk About It.
Thank you, thank you. One day I'll get up to be junior, and then I won't be newbie anymore.
Ah, you can hear that baritone. Well, our time machine is jumping then to 1977, and that's when Dr. J. Basil Mull suggested the group drop the new, and from that point on, we knew them as just to it. They became the Kingdom Heirs, back to what they originally started as, the Kingdom Heirs. And we'll be talking about where that name came from and a lot about what they're doing currently in their upcoming concert. We're going to come back to talk about those early days as Kingdom Heirs. And first, in 1982, 3 of my guests ultimately left the Kingdom Heirs. And that very next year, in 1983, something happened. This is where we are parking our Southern Gospel History time machine. And if anybody remembers Paul Harvey, raise your hand if you remember Paul Harvey. He would say, "Good day," and he would say, "And now for the rest of the story." And we're going to start the rest of the story with the first song that Gene wrote. And you started, well, actually, no, I'm going to back up. Dan Bell, thank you, Dan, is assisting and producing the program, and we dug deep to find the first Kingdom Heirs album. It was not really an album, it was a 45. Does anybody remember a 45?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember what the song was, Gene?
That Day Is Almost Here. That was one side.
That's one side. Was that it, Dan? Nope. It was the other side. I've got
Confidence. Yeah. I've got confidence.
What do you think of that bass player?
I do remember that. I'm not that far gone yet.
You remember that was the first It was a 45 RPM that the Kingdom Heirs released, and it was not but a year later that you joined them. Steve Googe on bass about a year later, and we're going to be playing some of the music that you're playing bass on in just a few moments. So, do you remember what the first album was?
Yes, the first album was
All aboard.
The first Kingdom Heirs album?
First Kingdom Heirs album was done in Oliver Springs, Tennessee, at Cumberland Recording Studio, and I'm drawing a blank on what the name of it was.
What the name was?
Cumberland Studios.
No,
That
what
day
was the
is
name of the album?
That
Oh,
day
All
is
Aboard?
almost here.
That day
Yeah.
was almost here. I had it in my notes too, and I couldn't remember either. That says something about all of us. It's called a senior moment, and it
Absolutely.
passes. And then we're back. Kingdom Heirs. The name came from Scripture. Can you talk about that a minute?
We are heirs of the kingdom, and that's what we decided to go with because it was a great scriptural
Yes.
reference.
And it was, and it is one that has stuck for all these many years. The next thing that I recall in learning about those days and the Kingdom Heirs is that you really grew in numbers of musicians, and you had a bus.
Yeah.
And you were just putting out album after album, and there was a particular one that was recorded. They recorded in different places. Sometimes you recorded in Nashville. That was later. Earlier on, it was your 5th album. Now, I don't expect you to remember this because I just studied up on your albums,
Okay.
all the way up to the 10-year greatest hits album, or the 10th album.
10th anniversary.
10th anniversary album. But your 5th album, you went up I-81, which wasn't even there then, probably,
Yeah.
to an area in the Tri-Cities. Do you remember that? Do you
And-
remember where you went?
In Tri-Cities.
Mm-hmm. A little place called Kingsport, Tennessee.
Oh, yeah, to Tilford Salyer's studio up there. And Jim Hamill, who was a icon, and he's deceased now, but he was the lead singer of the Kingsman Quartet.
Mm-hmm.
And he produced a couple of albums for us up there at Tri-State Recording Studio, Tilford Salyer's place.
I know exactly where that was. Do you want to know why?
Why?
Because I grew up in Kingsport, Tennessee. That's my hometown. So when I ran across that little bit of your history, I couldn't help but want to settle there for a moment and talk about that. Why didn't you get into writing any earlier? You're a fabulous writer, Gene.
Well, I just had to go by the leadership of the Spirit, and the Spirit gave me that the song "Watching and Waiting," and I put it down and didn't know what to do with it. And we sang it, of course, but I wanted to get it exposed more than what we were doing. So I went to WKXV, which was another gospel radio station here in Knoxville at that time. And I said, "What should I do with this?" And they said, they gave me a name of a publisher. And I sent it to them, Ron Tom Publishing Company. I don't even know if they're still going today, but I sent it to them and got a contract back. And there had been a group called the Seago Brothers and Naomi, who were very big and had traveled widely. And Lamar Seago had left that group to do his own family albums and recording. And they made that song, "Watching and Waiting," the cover song for their album.
And that is exactly, Dan, what we're going to play next. It is "Watching and Waiting," the first song written by Gene.
So many times I've entered into God's house on Sunday morning, and many times the preacher has told how Christ will come without a warning. The church bells chime, and my mind goes back to the time he filled my longing. So I'll watch for the signs of the time are everywhere.
Join in, Robin.
I'll just keep watching and waiting, watching and waiting. I'll keep watching and waiting for Christ to come again. Oh, look around you. Empty seats where people left rejecting Jesus. Oh, look around you. So many faces from this old life soon will leave us. Now don't be found at his coming without his blood by which he frees us. Let's keep watching, for the signs of the time are everywhere. We won't do the whole song.
Oh, but I love the harmony. One more little bit of the chorus. Just one more.
I'll just keep watching and waiting, watching and waiting. I'll keep watching and waiting for Christ to come again.
Fantastic. Now, only true singers, true artists can pull that off. And you know what? I always do that too. Get my special guests that are singers on Let's Talk About It. And never, ever does anyone go away without just singing as beautifully as you did. But your harmonies, unexpectedly singing that song. Wow. That was just amazing. So, in this little venue, I want to move forward now, because we thought we had the old song, and we did, thanks to Eugene McKinney. And of course, again, we have Robin Googe, Steve Googe, and a newbie. And so hand the microphone over to this newbie here, because I want to be able to include him shortly, and you two can share a mic, because the next thing that happens is the whole band breaks up. Around J. Basil Mall came in, and he had the Kingdom Heirs go and audition for Oktoberfest, a fall festival at what was Silver Dollar City and is now Dollywood. Yep. And the rest of that story of the Kingdom Heirs is history, because it was in what year that was it 80?
It was late 82. And we didn't break up. The band continued on.
The Kingdom Heirs continued on, but several of you left to preach, to spend more time with family and your children, and all of those things going on. And then, as I recall, somebody had a 60th birthday.
Yep. And
what happened?
Well, at the 60th birthday party, my daughter had put it together to surprise me, and they did a great job. I walked into they had done it at a church fellowship hall, and I walked in, and there was, how many people there? There was 100 people there, and it was just a total surprise. And those that were there was Steve and Dwayne and Mike Shoemaker, who sung baritone with us for quite a while, and Tommy Rowe, who also sung baritone with us after Mike left to become a pastor.
Buddy
Mulkey singing tenor. And so they were all there, and we, as you might think, after all those years, we decided we wanted to go to Steve's house and just sing for the fun of it, you know. And before you know it, we got the fever, and we were back out there singing it for the Lord.
So then you were singing lead again, yep. And Steve, you're playing bass again. And Robin, is that when you came in on the scene?
Well, Buddy Mulkey sang for quite a while, but he struggled. Mm-hmm. His voice just wasn't coming. So I was sitting in the living room and just listening to the music. And so one day I said, Lord, I want to sing in a gospel group before I'm too old to sing, you know, till I lose it or whatever. And 2 weeks later, somebody said, Buddy said, well, I can't sing anymore, so I'm going to quit. And then they said, well, who are we going to get? And I don't know who said it, but somebody said, well, how about Robin? And then somebody else said, well, Robin who? And I'm like, I live here, and I've been with you.
You've been right there with your husband, Steve, all this time, playing bass.
Yes. So anyway, they asked me, and I have a hard time remembering words to songs, but they said, here's 13 songs. He said, y'all see, learn them, and in 2 weeks come back and we'll see what happens. And the Lord gave me every one of those songs.
And that's how Jesus works in our lives.
And that is how Jesus works. Yeah, but I didn't ask him for a woman or a man group. So he has a sense of humor, and he gave me all men. So.
And what was that like to travel
Well,
with? I don't know. We'll get to that.
Well, yeah.
We'll get to that part
We'll
of
get
the
to
story a
that
little later. And then we don't want to leave Terry out. He's been so patient sitting over there. But what a great baritone and harmonizing with that little song you did just a few minutes ago. And no little thing about it. It was a great song that Gene wrote. But Terry, 2018.
Yeah.
You're the newest.
Pre-COVID, and how come they only gave you 13 songs? He handed me a binder of about 40 songs and said, "Here, learn these."
I'm going to swap microphones with you so you can use. That'll be a little easier for you. Go ahead.
Yeah. So anyway, Gene called one night and said, "Hey, we need a singer. Would you be interested in auditioning?" And I said, "Sure." And we got together, and it was good. We enjoyed it.
And so, how many songs were in that binder, Gene?
Well, at that time, it became a lot really quick. We started off pulling that back some of the old songs we had sung that made it easier.
From way back, plus the new ones you were writing.
And so...
and collaborating on. You collaborated with a lot of people on some songs for the new group. And so I think that's where the new group began, and it was really called, what'd you call yourselves? It wasn't Heartland at that point.
Knoxville's Own.
Knoxville's Own.
Because J. Basil Mull used to introduce us as Knoxville's Own Kingdom Heirs.
Oh, I've been waiting all week to do this to you. I'm going to start with Terry. Terry, hold that microphone up close, and I want to hear your very best J. Basil Mull. For all the people that watched.
Isn't that right, Ms. Mull?
That's right, J. Basil. That's Bob.
I think Gene did a little better job. Steve, you gonna give it a try? J. Basil Mull.
Ain't that right, J. Basil?
Hey, I think Steve is the winner here, and Robin, I'm not even going to ask you. You don't have to participate in that. You can just Lady Mull. What would she have said?
I don't know.
I think she always said, "That's right, Mister. That's right, Reverend." Good times. You know, the wonderful thing about Southern gospel music is it's family, its friends, and its influencers like the Reverend J. Basil Mull and Lady Mull that had on this genre of music in East Tennessee. And it's groups like yours that have birthday parties and decide to do something new that keep it going. And then the new artists are coming out of families, you know, and they're the young new artists, the new popular artists. How did you get the name Heartland? Why did you go from one name of Knoxville's best, Knoxville's finest, Knoxville's favorite, Knoxville's...
Well, we just started racking our brain and throwing names out and trying to
That's what I just
see
did.
What felt right.
I was just waiting to see where you caught on and said, no, it's Knoxville's Heartland.
Well, people kept asking us too, Knoxville's Own what?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so the name didn't make a lot of sense. We knew the story,
Mm-hmm.
but nobody else knew the story. So we either had to tell it all the time, or we, you know, so we
Keep it
just,
simple.
yeah. So we
But
just
Gene had also just written a song called
Yeah.
My Heartland,
yeah.
and we decided that's catchy. We like that.
And so that's from your song. And where did that song come from? What did God put on your heart for My Heartland?
That song came from my mother's passing. She passed at 92, and when she took her last breath, one tear came down her cheek. And I told my sisters, who were there with me at the time, I said, I'm going to write a song about that someday. And I carried it for several years, and finally God gave me the inspiration to write it, and that's what we've got.
Are you able to sing just a little bit of that one for me without crying on me? Because if you start crying, Gene, I'm going to start crying.
No, hopefully Dan can play it.
Well, Dan, if you can start looking for it, it's Heartland, and the song's called Heartland, My Heartland. And while Dan's looking for that one, we're going to talk about Heartland. And so, what was it like to take us into the studio the first time that you're all back together after that 60th birthday. And now it's just for having fun. You're not working at it so hard. And not the grueling hours on the bus. And I read that you still perform, and you've got a performance up and coming, but you travel 150 miles all over the world of Knoxville in East Tennessee.
There's a lot of churches in 150 miles of Knoxville, I'll tell you. This is the Bible Belt.
We're in the buckle. just might add. For those that are not from here, well, you'll learn. You're in the buckle of the Bible Belt, and what a great place to be before you go to heaven. And if you haven't found the Lord, we hope that you'll hear some of this cheery conversation and some of the words that have been written in these songs, and it'll really touch your heart and make you want to take Jesus off the shelf and either become a friend of Jesus in a true day in and day out relationship, or that you are going to want to seek the kingdom and eternal life. And boy, is there going to be a lot of Southern gospel in the kingdom, along with contemporary Christian and urban gospel and every other kind of Christian music from all over the world. And this is our niche. Isn't it fun to be a Southern gospel artist? Take us into the studio, guys. Who wants to go first?
How was it in studio?
That first time, Gene. I think
Well,
Steve wants to share something on that.
It was quiet.
Steve Googe, bass player, originally with the Kingdom Heirs and then with Heartland, and you say the studio was very quiet. Did people walk in not knowing what to expect getting together?
For me, yes, because I had never been in the studio. They have had that experience. I had not, and so it was terrifying for one, not knowing what to do. But then as we got to going and everything, it was amazing, and didn't want to stop,
In your mind.
Yeah, and it was really just incredible.
We did that album here in Knoxville with Danny Brown, who was a well-known producer of albums. And it was in his basement. But it was a first-class studio. It was a good, great studio. And I had been diagnosed with Parkinson's just right before that. And I was really concerned about whether I'd be able to sing.
Mm-hmm.
And I went into the studio not knowing for sure. And it worked out. God touched me and made it possible for me to be able to do that. And I've continued to be able to do that. I told the guys right after that, I said, if I get to where I can't do it, I'm not going to play something bad. Go ahead. They say home is where the heart is, and this much I know is true. When heaven calls my loved ones, a piece of my heart goes there too. So I long to hear the trumpet sound and bid this sin-sick world adieu, to see my heartland, where we'll never more part, and standing at the feet of Jesus will be home. Home, where he promised he'd prepare a place for me. Home, since he paid my debt that day at Calvary. Home, where we'll sing his praise through all eternity. There in our heartland, where eternity starts and gathered round the throne of Jesus, we'll be home. As we gathered at her bedside there,
to say our last goodbye. As we sang the song she loved to hear, one final tear slipped from her eye. But there'll be no tears in heaven, where the soul will never die. There in our heartland, where we won't have to part, and standing at the feet of Jesus, we'll be home. Home, where he promised he'd prepare a place for me. Home, since he paid my debt that day at Calvary. Home, where we'll sing his praise through all eternity. There in our heartland, where eternity starts, and gathered round the throne of Jesus, we'll be home. Home, where he promised he'd prepare a place for me. Home, since he paid my debt that day at Calvary. Home, where we'll sing his praise through all eternity. There in our heartland, where eternity starts, and gathered round the throne of Jesus, we'll be home. Home, where we'll sing his praise through all eternity. There in our heartland, where eternity starts, and gathered round the throne of Jesus, we'll be home. Gathered round the throne of Jesus, we'll be home.
Heartland. You're listening to Praise 96.3. Let's talk about it with Laura Paul. My special guest tonight, the gentleman that would have been here but had back surgery, and we are giving a shout out and praying for him. And of course, that's Dwayne Wyrick. I have Gene McKinney to my right. Next to him is Robin Googe. Then I have Terry sitting in, Terry Burkhalter, who is the current baritone. And of course, Steve Googe, Robin's husband, who played bass, and was he playing bass on that song with you guys? So they started as the original Kingdom Heirs and moved on to currently a group called Heartland, and we're going to have more conversation about that after I tell everyone a few things about David's Abbey Carpet and Floors, the super supporter of this program, and why this program can even come to light on Monday nights at 7, where we talk about a little bit of everything over time. And right now, I want to talk about LVP because it is here to stay. Luxury vinyl plank. Stunning floors designed to look like hardwood or stone at a fraction of the price. Well, that sounds good to me. How about you guys? We all like a fraction of the price. LVP, it's durable, it's easy to maintain, it's waterproof, and it's great for any space. Bed, bath, dining, den, kitchen, you name it. It's luxury vinyl plank for your home and your lifestyle. And you can see LVP at David's Abbey Carpet and Floors in Knoxville, Maryville, Pigeon Forge, or go to davidsabbeycarpet.com and look at it there. In fact, you can engage with their website, and that's a lot of fun with the pictures from your own home, and you can look at everything they have to offer. Of course, great carpet, hardwoods, dark to very light, and tile. They even provide stone if you need to stone up a fireplace. If you want to see any of it, just call me and come to my house. I think I've got a little bit of something in it in every room. And I believe in the product. I believe in their installers. I believe in their Christian basis of their family, 3 generations of family that own and work there. And it will be here for many years to come. They just celebrated, I think it was their 52nd anniversary in business. And you just don't stay in business that long if you're not doing something right. If you've never visited before, go find out why David's Abbey Carpet and Floors is something different in our community, and I think you'll have a great experience. Also, you can ask for my team there. I had a team, and that was really cool. And I'll save that for another time, because we have in studio and on Facebook Live this week, and we'll get the music on there as well, and it'll be on YouTube, and we are live on Praise 96.3 with the members of Heartland. And I'm going to ask Terry, would you speak to the upcoming concert? Are you going to be at that concert?
On the 21st?
On the 21st.
Yes, we have. I can't tell you where it is at the moment, but where is that?
Are we going to have to ask you, Steve?
You're going to have to ask Gene.
I mean, ask Gene? Ask everybody. Robin? Steve, everybody, where? Anybody know where it is? Dan? Glenwood Baptist.
Glenwood Baptist,
On
of
the-
course. Sometimes with the constant playing and things, you just have to plan to think, where is this place? Where's next?
You know, I have looked at the schedules of Southern gospel music groups, and I'm surprised that you even know what day of the week it is when you wake up in the morning, because you're playing and singing one place Friday night, another church on Saturday, maybe an auditorium, and on Sunday you've got another concert at another church, and how you don't get the churches mixed up. As a matter of fact, that's a good question. Terry, I'll go to you, and then Jean, and then Robin. When you are performing at a particular church, and I know Jean's the MC usually, but I'm sure you all have a point in time where you may say something or thank the congregation or the pastor for being there. How do you keep from mixing up where you are?
Well, we normally practice on Thursday evenings, and we'll always go over where we're going, where we're going to be, who the key people are, what the names are, what we need to remember, and we go over our program at that point too. We sing through all the songs and kind of run through anything we want to say at that particular event. And so that's our way of kind of keeping it fresh. But we usually know if it's Thursday, it must be Cleveland. But
that's just kind of a standing engagement. Now, Jean, has there ever been, in all your years as MC, a time when you had cue cards to help you remember what you were going to be talking about? Do you remember cue cards?
Yeah, I remember cue cards.
You had to put the microphone up there to talk about it.
I remember cue cards.
Did you use them?
The only time we've ever used cue cards, so to speak, the new age cue cards, is when Terry brought his little computer, brought her computer in a song that we were trying to learn, and we didn't feel like we had it quite yet. And so we experiment on the congregation and put the cue cards on the computer
put
screen.
the lyrics on PowerPoint and cued them as we went.
Yeah.
So that we made sure we kind of knew what we were doing.
So you were singing live
Yes.
from cue cards following the computer in an actual concert.
Yeah.
Most of the time, when we're at churches, we've been there before. We're like family, and so when we are doing or learning a new song, then we'll just tell them, "Hey guys, this is a new song. We want to try it out on you," and and
Bear with us.
they're so gracious, and they end up loving it, and and just being so supportive. And that's why I love churches more than concerts, because we interact with the congregation more that way.
Now, there's another way that I know singers from time to time would remember a spot in lyrics where they had a tendency to forget or lose their place, and that was writing on the palm of their hand. Oh, I'm seeing a lot of yeses, so look in the camera and let everybody know. Raise your hand if you've ever done that.
No, I have no. No.
Did you ever write, Steve, on the back of your hand?
Bass, he wouldn't sing.
That's right. You weren't singing. Did you ever write any of the music on the back of your arm or inside your arm? See, the musicians didn't have to do that because they could always ad-lib the music.
Well, I know when I forget something, Gene always knows the words to everything. So he usually is in my ear and telling me what to sing, or the same way as me. Or if he forgets something, then I usually will harmonize with him and sing that part with him at that time, you know.
Now, I want to know how you, Gene, I'm going to address this. I'm staying off camera because I want everybody to see you guys on camera. In case you wonder why you just hear my voice, I'll give a wave. I am over here. I want to know how you ever gave an excuse of, I forgot, to your wife about anything when you can remember all the words to all of your songs.
It blows my mind, really, when you think about how many songs over the 54 years that we've been singing, how many songs you've remembered the words to. And here's a little funny side story. We were up in Louisville, Kentucky, and we were singing, and our bass singer had this was not Dwayne at the time. Dwayne is... he's going to be in the Union County Opry Hall of Fame.
Up and coming. Congratulations, Dwayne.
Yeah. He's a great bass singer. And but anyway, we were at the church, and our bass singer who was with us at that time there was a song that the second verse started with "Well Glory," the words "Well Glory."
Uh-huh.
And he drew a blank. It came and he couldn't figure out what to do. And of course, when you've got a live band, they can kind of fake around it and keep playing and make it sound like you're not supposed to go yet and all that. But I kept saying, "Well, glory," and he thought I was happy.
Were you?
I was happy, yeah. But I was happier when he took off with it and made the second verse.
When he showed up for the song.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. I can tell you.
Say, it is true, that old joke about I can remember lyrics from the 70s, but I can't remember why I went into the kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. They just kind of pop in your head, but there are times you draw a blank. Yeah. And luckily we support each other, kind of anticipating we'll speak the words to them.
Well, there was a song on this particular album that you all have just cut as Heartland. And it was written, I think it was written in collaboration. It was written by Dustin Green. Can you tell me a little bit about that? Because it's also the name of the album. The song's called The Healer. Tell me about that, Gene.
We got, I don't know exactly how we got in touch with Dustin, but he sent us a couple of songs just out of the blue.
Mm-hmm.
And we listened to them, and we really like The Healer. And Robin's got a beautiful voice, and she sings that, and it's been a blessing. It's the songs that's been released for us. It came to number 6, which is the highest we've had one on the charts yet. But we've had a song on the charts now for going on 2 years, I guess.
And which song's been on the chart for 2 years?
Well,
The Half Hasn't Been Told, Glory, Glory, God is Able, and He Rescued Me, I think. But those are the 3 primary ones were The Healer, and Half Hasn't Been Told's at number 10 right now, and then Glory, Glory ended at number 14.
And we are going to hear The Healer.
She pressed through the crowd so desperately. For years and years she suffered with no relief. But she heard the king was coming. She had to get to him. She said, if I could touch him, I know that I'll be healed. The healer, the great physician,
touched him, she met the healer. My life was so shattered and broken down. Sin held me captive, Satan had me bound. But I made my way to Calvary, where Jesus hung on a tree. It was there that I found healing. It was there he set me free. And I met the healer, the great physician, Jesus the Christ, the Holy One, Savior, Redeemer, Messiah. The moment I touched him, I met the healer. Savior, Redeemer, Messiah. The moment I touched him, I met the healer. The healer. The healer.
The Healer, that is Heartland, and the members of Heartland have joined me on Let's Talk About It with Laura Paul here on Your Praise 96.3. That particular song featured Robin Gouge, wife to Steve Gouge, who was the bass player after the first year with the original Kingdom Heirs back in the early 70s. Robin, one thing I've not been able to talk to you about is what it was like to be following the band around as the wife of the bass player all of those many years, and then to transition into being a lead singer on some of the songs on this new album.
Well, I wasn't married to Steve at that time.
Okay.
Yeah, he had his first wife died of cancer.
Oh, I'm
And
sorry I didn't know
so,
that.
We married, and so it was several years after, before they got together. And so I really didn't follow them around, but it was still a pleasure to have them come to the house and to sing at the house and to meet these guys and be a part of their life. And yeah.
So you weren't really a follower of the original Kingdom Heirs.
No, I was not.
But were you a follower in those young years, which was like yesterday for you, for of Southern gospel music, or was that something that you also, as a genre, had to learn at some point?
I had to learn. Yeah, I had to learn. I'm not really a solo singer. I never considered myself that, because I hear harmony all the time. So when I joined with them, it was easy to start singing with them and doing the harmony part with them.
So I'm curious to know, as I think many of the listeners would be, what was your musical background that you started in?
Well, I had just sung in church a few times. I really had none. I really had none. I was kind of
Part of her testimony.
It is part of my testimony. But yeah, I sang in church some. I always wanted to sing, terrified to sing. I remember the first time I sang in church, I had to literally hold the podium because I could not hardly stand up after singing. It was just, and even just listening to The Healer, I have to not cry, because sometimes I listen to it and I go, is that really me? Really, I do. I think, is that me singing that? And so.
And you have such beautiful depth to your voice. And, for here in East Tennessee, you actually sang with an I not being an I but an I. And you phonetically sang beautifully, and you resonated beautifully, and yet there's a clarity, a pureness to your voice, along with that depth, which makes it very interesting to listen to.
Thank you. Gene keeps telling me, he says, that's what I love most about your voice, is that your dialect is so good.
It's,
You know.
as they would say, it's the Queen's English, isn't it?
She pronounces her words just beautifully.
You know, if we all put INGs on words, well, people wouldn't think we were from around here.
Yeah.
And so now you are singing regularly with the group.
Yes.
And recording. And did we find out from Terry what it was like? We heard Steve say it was very quiet that first time back in the studio. And you had never been in a studio, Robin. What about you, Terry?
I had worked in Nashville as a studio musician and backup singer some, and had spent about 20 years over there working in a group, but had not ever been in a gospel group per se, and 4-part harmony, which I'd always loved. And so when Gene called me with that opportunity, Gene and I sang together in a church choir for about 20 years at St. John's Lutheran Church. And so we knew each other well. We were used to singing parts and harmonies and that sort of thing. But it was such a pleasure to get into this type of harmony, this type of music. And I just love it.
And so what instrument did you play?
I played bass guitar.
Bass guitar in Nashville, in what sessions groups?
Yeah, 19th Avenue over in that area. So, like I say, you just kind of pick and choose, but I'd also been involved in concert promotion and doing some of those things for that time period. Probably the highlight was I got to do 5 Elvis shows. So 3 in 74 and 2 in 75.
Wow.
So that was fun, but again, it's the type singing and the tight harmonies that drew me to this, and plus the message. It's such a solid, good message that you're singing, and every song is a solid, good message.
And God bless you with a rock-solid baritone voice. Now, Gene, you're going to have to use that microphone. If I am fussing. Can you believe I'm fussing at an icon, Gene McKinney, on the radio, saying, get that microphone up. So, as MC for all these years, kind of the group leader, it's your responsibility to share about Jesus. It's also your responsibility to make it a little entertaining and share a little joke here and there. Is there a particularly good one that you could share with the audience tonight?
A joke? I wasn't funny.
And everybody's saying amen.
Jim Hamill was funny. I wasn't funny.
So
Dwayne used to have a thing where he said that the leather around his waist was the fence around a chicken graveyard.
I have to think that one through for a minute. Terry's laughing. Robin and I are both.
Yeah. Gene is we're not entertainers. I don't consider us entertainers. We are. We bring the message. That's what our goal is, to bring the message of Jesus Christ. But Gene, I call him the entertainer of the group, really, because he wanders in the crowd. He gets the crowd involved, and they love that. They love it. He goes out and shakes their hand while he's singing. I can't do that because I can't think of the words and do that at the same time. It is, and it's so hard to do, and he does it so beautifully. He is the entertainer. So when we all our mics messed up 2 weeks ago, and so we were like tethered. All of us were tethered together. We had one cord that was really long, and we made sure he had it so he could go out into the crowd. So all 3 of us were huddled around Dwayne singing this, and then he got to go out in the crowd. So it was.
I got started doing that in Silver Dollar City.
What's your experience in being out amongst the people?
The people love it because I'm out there close to them. I'm making eye contact. Once in a while, I'll shake somebody's hand. I look for people who I feel like I can minister to. and I make eye contact and go and sing right to them if it's a sweet little lady and the song lends itself to that, or if I see some young people that I think could be helped by a song like off the latest album, He Rescued Me. Yeah, I'll go out and I won't draw attention to them, but I'll go out and let God work through me, because when I sing, I internalize the song, and I'm singing from my heart, and I'm singing not for my gratification, but for God to receive the glory. And He's blessed me so many times in situations like that, and I just like to get out there and get close to them, and they by and large love it.
And I think we are going to hear that song, or just a little bit of it, Dan, just a little bit of, I thought Dan was starting the song behind us.
Life and He will hold and make it new.
Okay,
That was
That's
from
fine.
God.
play it, Robin. See.
We've just got a few minutes left, a couple minutes, and we're going to go out on that song.
Okay.
But quick last words. So I'll start with you, Terry. Last thoughts, anything you'd like to share? You're going to be in concert August the 21st at
Jamie Lewis, isn't it? Is that
Glenwood Baptist Church.
We're going to be in concert the 21st at Glenwood Baptist Church.
There you go. I'm glad I could help.
What is it, the summer
And Jean, are we
Summer.
going to see you out amongst the people?
Yes.
And I want to point something out to those listening. Gene has Parkinson's, and he is going to be singing and walking out amongst the people, bringing you Jesus and shaking your hand. And that just goes to show, with Jesus, you can do anything, regardless of what the doctors say.
Yeah.
You can do more through Christ Jesus. Robin, your last thoughts?
Well, my last thoughts are just that I'm just so proud to be singing with these wonderful gentlemen and to be a part of spreading the gospel.
I want to thank Steve Googe, Robin Googe. I want to thank Terry Burkhalter. I want to thank Dwayne Wyrick, who is going to be here, for his help in putting this together. And, of course, the one and only Gene McKinney. Thank you guys for being here. We're going to go out with a song from your new album, and it's called God Knows.
God knows all your weaknesses and fears you might give in to. His blood has covered all your sins. His promises are true. His Spirit dwells within to help you through.